Hey guys, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the human life and how we feel, how many of us start on the spiritual journey because we can feel the inauthenticity of life, or we can feel that life is somewhat superficial, and we start to long for something deeper, something beyond, and something that we have maybe lost in childhood, for a sense of truth or authenticity, or we don't even know what we're longing for. We just know that there's a longing for something beyond the human dimension, beyond the human matrix. And that's, for me and for many others, this is what drives this process, that we long for truth, we long for what we really are, really. And through life, especially when we are young teenagers, we start developing these social identities. We start to develop a sense of self. And in childhood, it's not, I would say that we're quite liberated from that. Of course, we have struggles and we suffer in childhood too, but we tend to be free of the social identity that we step into when we become, when we reach puberty. And at that time, you can look at teenager and see how they try on different shapes and forms almost, where they try to be certain types of people. They try to figure out who they are. And we do that as adults as well, but it tends to be more set in stone, right? This is me, and this is my past, this is my desires, these are my goals, or this is my preferences, this is me, this is my interest, right? So we try to capture ourselves in this form because there's a sense of security there, there's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of knowing what we are in relation to everything else. And that is the ego force, I would say. It's a mechanism that wants to stay separate from everything else. It wants to be special, right? And it has to find all these reasons why we are, for good and for bad, right? It doesn't matter, as long as it can affirm that we are something distinct, different from everything around us. And in this process, it creates this persona that we take on, and it happens unconsciously, but many of us can feel that we step into this and life feels somewhat inauthentic, or life feels somewhat tainted. It feels like we're living in this fake world, and we're playing a role, really. And it feels like it too, at least it did for me. And I remember that I remember I felt really uncomfortable socially when I was a teenager. I didn't feel like I fit in. I was really insecure. And to try to fix that, to try to overcome that, I created a confident persona to compensate. So I was constantly in conflict with myself. I was quite how can you say, like I was like fractional, or I was many pieces. I was everywhere, and there was no center of feeling this is I felt like I was many, and I played different roles, and I never found peace anywhere in those. It never felt like I found a ground. But I knew I had it at some point. But I couldn't find it, and I was looking in the wrong places too, right? And we tend to try to fit in, and we tend to try to belong, and that's a very human instinct. And it's hard to break free from that. You know, it's so grounded, and it's so, I would say, rooted in us. But it has nothing, like trying to fit in socially has nothing to do with love. Love is acceptance, right? In many ways, and trying to fit in is actually fear, and it's really deep within us, and maybe it's evolutionary, I don't know, but it's still like something that is we create these personas, I believe, or many of us, because we believe that they will make us accepted by others. So either you become a confident persona, or you become a people pleaser, or you become a good person even, right? Or you become a cool person, or a pretty person, whatever you want, right? And we take on these roles in an attempt to fit in and to be accepted socially. And it's a self-abandonment, or it's an authentic abandonment. It's an abandonment of what we of the truth, and we can feel that, you know, we can feel that it's not real, or it's not what we are, but we play the role because everyone else are doing it, and we think that's life. And then we start to long. And for many of us, we had to go through hardships to even get to that point where we feel like, okay, no matter what I try, it's not it. I long for what I had. It's nothing I can ever get in this world can compensate for the part of me that I have lost, that I feel like I've lost it. You haven't really lost it, but you can say that your focus is elsewhere. You're distracted by emotions and thoughts that make that is so. You've been doing it for many years, and it's hard to break free from. And that's awakening. I believe in many ways it's to wake up to authenticity and what we really are. And you can't really define that ever. It's a self-evidence, you can say. You will know without being able to create a story about it, even though the mind will try, and the mind will want to create a persona, a spiritual persona, right? An enlightened being to present to the world, even, right? To be accepted by the world. And I think that's a trap that we shouldn't like judge ourselves too much for, because I think it's the ego force is a very powerful force, and it at least it humbles me every day. Like, it humbles me more and more every day, because of course it's ancestral, it's evolutionary, it's been with us, the human race, for yeah, I don't know, for many generations, at least, maybe the whole time we have existed. And it's powerful, and it wants to hijack everything. It wants to create an identity with a story, with everything we do, right? And even spirituality. And it wants to make this a hero's journey in the mind, right? And in some way it is a hero's journey, right? You can say that it is. It's definitely not the wrong thing to say, but still it's the moment you have the courage to look beyond the self, beyond yourself, you can say, and what you take yourself to be, that's when the real journey starts. And that's awakening. So that's what I had for today. If this resonates, you can watch my free masterclass in the link below. And you can also book a clarity call with me if you want to talk about my mentorship program. And yeah, leave a comment if this resonates, and like and subscribe if you haven't done that. And yeah, until next time, much love and namaste.